Hello and welcome to Save Point, your one-stop shop for all things gaming. I'm Junglist.
My name is Maud Garrett.
And I'm Paul Verhoeven.
Coming up, we take a look at Pokemon Black and White and Dragon Age 2. Shattered Horizon, the multiplayer game that caused many a gamer to move to Windows 7 and therefore DirectX 11, has incorporated a single-player mode. It's not a campaign, rather just bots to mess with when there's no friends to kill. Sony have announced a local price drop for the PSP 3000. Previously at recommended retail price $279.95, you can now pick up one of these for $189.95. The move is accompanied with a price drop on several games, not to mention the release of the Nintendo 3DS, and of course we look forward to details on the second generation PSP from this year's E3 in June.
It hasn't even been a year since the last Pokemon, but this time Black and White Pokemon is still selling huge numbers, and that's because the game still got it.
I mean, you can pick it up, and it's a decade and a half old.
Yeah.
And yet it still has something for you. You'll still get months, even years of enjoyment out of each of these games.
Every time they bring out a new Pokemon, they add new things, there's improvements. And this time round, instead of catching 150 Pokemon, which is what I had to do when I had Pokemon Red back in 1995, now there's 649 Pokemon.
And, I mean, we've all thought about it one time or another, the logistics of trapping animals.
That's a small area
for
an animal.
That would kill an animal.
It's cruel.
And then you fling that animal at another animal, and they fight until they pass out. Yeah. So, regardless, they're there to be defeated now.
So, with this game, though, it encourages online play, and if you do play online, you get bonus points, which is a new improvement, but not so good for someone like me who has no friends.
Okay, and which of the three starter Pokemon did you go with? Because you get to pick three at the start of every game. You always go with the tiny Piglet, right?
But now my Piglet has evolved, and it's like, I'm ham!
What about Dreamworld? Did you log on to that?
Yeah, I did. It was a new concept, which I appreciated because you had your own little house and little garden. You can cultivate berries there, unlock new areas in Pokemon. But I'm all about the straight and narrow, finishing the game, getting the gym badges. Pokemon Master. Gotta catch them all.
Easy killer. So, Pokemon Black and White. Awesome?
Yeah, it offered enough new for me to be entertained by it still, which is hard because, I've been playing it for 15 years now. So thumbs up from me.
Top 5.
Today's top 5 are gaming characters that look like food. Yes, when I play these characters, I actually get hungry. You'll see what I mean. Number 5, Kirby. Fairy Floss. You can see it, right? Don't worry though, Kirby, we won't be putting a stick there. But I do want to eat you. You look delicious. And then I'll throw you up again. Agent 47, Hitman. Dude, you have a hard-boiled egg for a head. I know you could kill me with one bullet, but you're a boiled egg. Guile from Street Fighter. You look like uncooked pasta. It's the hair. It looks exactly the same. Lemmings. Looks like spinach. Now, I loved Lemmings. Little spinaches always running off to their deaths. And coming in number 1, Pac-Man. He looks like a pizza with a slice taken out of it. And apparently, that's where the design first came from. So I get to eat it this time.
We stand upon the precipice of change. War and death approach. Claim your destiny, or be claimed by it.
So, if you're anything like me, you probably love the idea of going on adventures in faraway lands with sexy elves and sexy dwarves.
Oh my god.
Shut up, dwarves can be sexy. Who become your friends, and then they buy you presents and make you sandwiches.
That last part's a lie.
Yeah. Well, if that's your thing, Dragon Age 2 is going to melt your butter.
Yeah, it's a sequel, hence Dragon Age 2. And if you've not played the first game, that's totally okay because you can jump on it. Basically, it's an epic role-playing game with some really, some really dynamic combat that takes place over a decade.
Now, again, if you haven't played the first game, let me just put it in a nutshell for you. You, the hero, save the land of Ferelden for something called the Blight. It's kind of... Have you ever had a dog chase you? All right, well, picture that, but instead of one dog, it's millions of things called a Darkspawn. And it's not just chasing you, it's actually trying to destroy the whole of the civilization. So, okay, in retrospect, that's actually nothing like being chased by a dog. Okay, but it was bad and you won and everything's great.
Not the best metaphor, but We're all on board now. So, basically, in the first game, you triumphed, but fans were really upset when they heard that in Dragon Age 2, you don't get to play as your hero, you play as someone called Hawk. Well, don't worry, all the choices you made in the first game, if you played it, even the really small ones, are totally going to affect the storyline. So you can relax, Maud, and you can have some ice cream.
I love ice cream.
Do we even have ice cream?
No, we don't have any ice cream.
My favourite thing is though that you can pick what sex you're going to be. So I always love to make my characters female. That's why I like RPGs.
That's your sex.
I'm a girl!
I know, right?
Awesome! Best thing as well is that I can totally change the way I look and I can be so meticulous down to what angle my nose and chin sits on my face.
But a lot about this game is the characters you meet, the adventures that you get to go on with them. You've got Varric, the charming pimp dwarf with a fantastic rug of chest
Oh,
hair.
he does.
Who else? What was your favorite?
I'm a big fan of Anders, the
Didn't pick it. Really?
flagrantly bisexual mage from, he was in Dragon Age Awakenings, which was like a little downloadable kind of expansion for the first game. And in this one, if you're a dude and you always wanted to get with Anders, you can do that now.
I applaud you for admitting that.
Hey man, he's bears hungry, it'll eat. The combat, because I know you're a big fan of first-person shooters.
That's my biggest problem with the first one, man. The combat. Constantly pausing
Yeah.
pissed me off.
Okay, that's not as much of a problem here. So you can pause the combat and you can micromanage and you can, allocate kind of specific sets of behavior, but you can effectively just run around mashing stuff. One of the cool things about this as well is that Hawk, the character you play, whether they're male or female, they're fully voiced.
And more so than that, you actually get 3 different types of personalities when you're asking questions, and it guides you whether you want to be nice and pure, whether you want to be a hard ass, or just a smart ass, which I recommend. And if you don't like open world RPGs, this one may be a little hard because you run out of quests and get stuck. Speaking from personal experience, 10 hours in, no more quests to do. Don't know what I'm doing. Have no linear direction. I've got Isabella, she's got massive cans and I'm trying to motorboat them, but she's frigid. RPGs.
So in conclusion, it's a really good game. If you're a fan of the original, you might have to just ease up a bit on the criticism and enjoy the fact that it's a very different type of game. And if you're new to RPGs, you're going to absolutely love it. It combines the fast-paced freneticism of real-life combat, but without the crippling injuries. Thumbs up!
That's all for Save Point this week. If you want to get involved in the Save Point community, check the website right here. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Same people. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm going to have augmentation on my breasts, so you probably won't recognize me. The face will be the same now.
You're just a weird person.